24/7 championship in WWE. It's one thing to say that it has been an interesting time to have that championship in the WWE thus far. It's another to say it's been completely crap, which is what we're here to talk about today. Thank you guys for watching the WrestleDude YouTube channel. Before we get into it, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video. It definitely does help. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you like the 24/7 championship? What has been your favorite moment of the 24/7 championship? I'm going to give a little brief history here, and we're going to talk about how I think the WWE should get rid of the championship. So let me know how you would get rid of the championship in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, the 24/7 championship's been around for quite a while. I think it's been maybe like 2 years. I could be wrong. Hold on a second. 2019. Holy crap, so it's only been around for maybe like a year. Or going on 2 years almost. Holy crap. And the inaugural champion was none other than Titus O'Neil, which I did not remember until I looked this up. I just instantly thought that R-Truth was the inaugural champion, but apparently he was third. It went Titus O'Neil, then it went Robert Roode, which I also forgot about, and then it went to R-Truth. So in the very beginning, the whole history of this that I looked up on Wikipedia, so you know everything's right because it's on Wikipedia, was said that the USA Network wanted the 24/7 championship to kind of boost ratings during the third hour. And then when SmackDown went to Fox, USA said we only want the 24/7 championship appearing on Raw because it's the USA Network's idea. We don't want to put it on Fox's show, SmackDown. So this championship, where it's all built around the championship being defended anytime, any place, anywhere, on any brand, can only appear on Monday Night Raw. And I guess in backstage skits on like social media and stuff like that. But when it first came out, like, it was literally nothing but a reskinned version of the Hardcore Championship. And when I mean reskinned, I mean downgraded. And if you think it could be worse than what the Hardcore Championship looked like, boy howdy, were we in for it here. When Mick Foley came out on Monday Night Raw and pulled that championship out of that bag, just think of every GIF reaction of disgust you could ever think of compiled into one. It's just such a lazy design. It looked like a kid designed it. Like, it looked like a freaking kid at Denny's was like scribbling on a piece of paper, made a championship belt. Vince McMahon walked past it and looked at it and was like, you know what? That's a good design for a championship. And then he stole the kid's drawing. Probably stole his breakfast, too, because that kind of seems like something Vince McMahon would do. Not Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon. I should probably make the difference between the real guy and the character on screen. But I'll be honest, for the first little while during the 24/7 Championship's livelihood, it had a lot of fun moments. The first kind of scramble was very fun. You had Gallows and Anderson fighting over the championship. You had Titus O'Neil launching Drake Maverick over the top rope. That was fun. R-Truth attacking Robert Roode and stealing the championship, and him calling it the European Championship. That was very fun. And then we got into the little series of outside of WWE filmed segments, like with R-Truth and Carmella on the golf course, and then he gets rolled up by Jinder Mahal, who for some reason is in his wrestling gear. Jinder Mahal wins the championship, and then R-Truth wins it back from Jinder Mahal on a freaking plane. That kind of stuff was very fun, and it very much did remind a lot of people of the old Hardcore Championship scenes where you would have, like, Crash Holly running around a freaking ball pit and stuff like that, trying to defend his championship and get away from anybody that tried to pin him. A lot of that stuff was very, very fun, and it was going on for a very long time, and R-Truth was involved in a lot of it. And then once it started getting into Drake Maverick and R-Truth fighting over the championship, and Drake Maverick getting pinned at his own wedding for the championship was very great. You had Carmella in the mix. There was always a fun moment involving R-Truth and the 24/7 championship, and it went on for quite a while. Now, the place I would pinpoint the 24/7 championship started to kind of lose its comedic value and start to become kind of boring, I would say when Mike and Maria Kanellis got involved. So the way that this happened was I believe it was Mike Kanellis won the 24/7 championship, and at the time, Maria Kanellis is pregnant, legitimately pregnant. And then also around this time, they're running this like cuck angle with, and I mean cuck, C-U-C-K. I was about to, I don't say the word cuck a lot. I don't know how to spell it. But they were running this whole angle around Mike Kanellis being a cuck to Maria Kanellis. And so when Mike won the 24/7 championship, Maria immediately said like, "Lay down. I'm gonna pin you. No one's gonna pin a pregnant lady." And around that time was when I started to see this as like kind of cringy and annoying. There were still some funny moments, like Mike Kanellis winning the championship back during, what was it, an ultrasound with Maria Kanellis' baby, and then he walks out and R-Truth is like sitting in the lobby disguised as a lady and then rolls him up to win the championship back. But it was just having Mike and Maria Kanellis involved in this with the whole cuck storyline. It personally, it just kind of turned me off just because I was like, I don't like this whole cuck thing going on, and I don't like that it's like you have something so awkward like that trying to be inserted into something that's the 24/7 championship is supposed to be funny. Being a cuck isn't exactly funny, or at least to me it's not, and having it included in this comedy segment with the 24/7 championship, it just really, really killed it a lot for me. And then from there, what was it? R-Truth won the championship back, and then we ended up having, what was it? Later on, it was like R-Truth getting into a mini rivalry with Mojo Rawley over the 24/7 championship, and Mojo Rawley ended up saying like, "I'm not going to run from any challenge. I'm going to defend my championship anytime, any place," which kind of defeats the purpose of the 24/7 championship because they started having regularly scheduled matches on Raw for the championship. The whole point of the championship is that the match can take place anytime, anywhere, any place. It's basically like a Falls Count Anywhere championship. But for some reason, they were having these rules set on it all of a sudden, which just kind of killed it. And then they introduced Riddick Moss, and he became the 24/7 champion, which he did have kind of a fun moment that I liked when they went to the Funko Pop building, the CEO building of Funko. Obviously, as you guys may know, I collect a lot of Funkos, so it was very fun to see that kind of segment play out with them fighting in the Funko shop. That was very fun. But it still wasn't enough to really boost it back up to the heights that it was kind of towards the beginning. And then from there, Riddick Moss lost the championship to R-Truth, and then R-Truth lost the championship to Mojo Rawley, I think. And then the 24/7 championship went to WrestleMania host Rob Gronkowski, who, oh my God, it just pains me to think about how that guy was involved. I'm sure the guy's a great guy. Did he have any spot? Did he have any reason to be anywhere near hosting WrestleMania? No. The only highlight I can think of his 24/7 title reign was him doing a dive off of the WrestleMania platform, which apparently he was too scared to do. So Vince McMahon himself had to do it and show him that it wasn't that bad. So yeah, Rob Gronkowski wins the 24/7 championship, and then I think Mojo Rawley pinned him for it, and then Mojo Rawley got pinned by R-Truth. And ever since then, R-Truth's kind of been the 24/7 champion on again, off again. We've had him versus Akira Tozawa and the Ninjas over the championship, and then Akira Tozawa got eaten by a shark apparently at some point. It just really went downhill very, very fast. And to be honest, there not being a crowd and there not being an audience has really, really killed that championship because, like, some of the comedic value is like showing these segments and kind of having an audience reaction of laughter, or doing the out of the box like segments like being pinned on a golf course or on a plane. That stuff is funny because you can put it on social media and people can react to it individually and laugh. But since there's been a pandemic, you can't really do a lot of that stuff safely. So that's another reason why I feel like it's kind of been dying off. So that brings me to, after about 10 minutes of explaining the history, that brings me to my idea of how WWE can retire the 24/7 championship. So, R-Truth is the 24/7 champion. He's been the 24/7 champion like 100 times by now. The way that I would want him to lose that championship for the final time and have the championship retired is pretty simple. And I would want it to happen kind of around the time, well, no, I guess that doesn't really make sense. I was going to say I would have it happen around the time that fans come back, but like I just said, fan reaction is kind of what makes the championship good. So maybe we do it while we're in this kind of lockdown area with the Thunderdome. But basically, the way that it would work is, at a big show like Royal Rumble or maybe a WrestleMania, R-Truth is running around backstage. He's hiding through these production areas, and then he tries to hide in the gorilla position. And what I would have him do is do like some sort of trip fall spot. He like trips on a cord, he like trips over, hits his head on the 24/7 championship, knocks him out. There's a camera looking at him on the ground, and the camera pans up in the gorilla position, and there you see sitting at the gorilla position is Vince McMahon himself. And he sees R-Truth knocked out with the 24/7 championship. Vince McMahon walks over, he does his little Vince McMahon strut, walks over, pins R-Truth. Mr. McMahon becomes the 24/7 champion. And the way that I would have the championship just completely null and void is the giant group of people, pretty much everybody that's ever chased after the 24/7 championship, they all run into the gorilla position. They all run in and they surround Vince McMahon. And R-Truth slowly gets back up to his feet. And he's like, what are you guys all doing here? He looks and he sees Vince with his championship. He's like, Vince, thank you for holding that so much. And then everyone starts to close in, and Vince is like, if any of you try to touch me, if any of you try to pin me, you're fired. So Vince McMahon is sitting in Gorilla as the new 24/7 champion, and everyone is so afraid to lose their jobs over this championship that they just say, you know what? One by one, they all throw up their hands. They're like, nah, ain't worth it. I'm throwing my hands up. I'm walking out. The last person there is R-Truth, and he says like an emotional goodbye to the championship, tells Vince, take care of her like it was your own son. Which it could be a pretty good line. I don't know, they could add some more to it. And then R-Truth walks off. Vince McMahon is the final ever 24/7 champion, and the championship is basically retired after that point, because nobody is going to pin Vince McMahon to try and win that championship, because you'll obviously get fired. I think it's a good way to end the 24/7 championship. It would be a very funny moment, and if somewhere down the line you wanted to bring back the 24/7 championship, you could. It would just take a spot where Vince McMahon comes out to the ring, or do a funny segment with R-Truth and Vince McMahon. You could have Vince McMahon laying in bed at home with the championship, and maybe not Linda, but the championship at home, and R-Truth sneaks into the McMahon mansion and pins Vince McMahon and wins the championship. The reason why R-Truth doesn't get fired, though, is because Vince McMahon just thinks he's way too funny to fire, so he just lets him become the champion again. So, yeah, that's how I would retire the 24/7 championship, is by having Vince McMahon win it, and then just have everybody else be so scared to win the 24/7 championship that they just give up. They just never go after it again. So let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that's a good idea? Would you want to see Mr. McMahon win the 24/7 championship? Let me know in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys later.